City, a little town where I'm from, where everybody's southern raised, just as good as they come. Backwoods and Macioke and mud holes, and back then we only gave what the farm grow. Man, I miss some days how we played on them dirt roads, and out of towners came with respect, cause they know we all close. Yeah, southern pride, towing gun folks. Welcome to my city, I-75 South, just north of Live Oak.
I'm from a city called Austin, Georgia, right on the border of Florida. I was raised on these dirt roads, mud tires, skin backwoods, running around this small town living, yeah. Now welcome to my city, town, 229, turn it up so they can hear it loud. We get it up with big trucks and heavy G's, pretty girls with moonshine and whiskey.
It's nothing like our dirt roads, you can bet that, son. I'm from a city, by any means, we gon' protect our guns. I hang with the rednecks and geekies. We get up in big trucks in the backwoods like Indians and teepees. It's the home of the mighty, mighty Vikings. Wildcats, blazing, Titletown license winners. Pretty girls with country grammar. When I say about Austin, Georgia, I ain't talking about Atlanta. This a different type of city, where the woods are pretty, but get gritty. You hear me? What you know about that 229? You can find us on the Florida, Georgia line, where I reside.
I'm from a city called Austin, Georgia, right on the border of Florida. I was raised on these dirt roads, mud tires, skin backwoods, running around this small town living, yeah. Now welcome to my city, town, 229, turn it up so they can hear it loud. We get it up with big trucks and heavy G's, pretty girls with moonshine and whiskey. Moonshine and whiskey.
Some folks really don't understand how important it is and never forget where you came from. You know, when I say Lowndes County, man, I mean Lowndes County.
I'm from a city called Austin, Georgia, right on the border of Florida. I was raised on these dirt roads, mud tires, skin backwoods, running around this small town living, yeah. Now welcome to my city, town, 229, turn it up so they can hear it loud. We get it up with big trucks and heavy G's, pretty girls with moonshine and whiskey.
Hey, what's up, Lowndes County? Welcome to the Viking Nation Live. It's our weekly celebration of all things Lowndes County. We are the one Lowndes community, and never, ever forget that. I'm your host, Larry Godwin. Great to have you on board tonight. We're going to have a fun show tonight. Before we get cranked up, though, let me go ahead and thank our sponsors. It's never a burden to talk about our sponsors because they make all this work, and I appreciate them so very much. We want to thank these guys, the Pepsi Company of Valdosta. Oh, I should really say Pepsi of Valdosta. They are the makers of Mountain Dew, Pepsi, Rockstar, Mountain Dew Energy. Had to have a little bit of extra spark today, so I did imbibe on a couple, 3 20-ounce Mountain Dew bottles today. So I think I needed it today. It's been a long week, but a very productive week, and I hope you've had a lot of productivity in your week as well. So thank you so much to Pepsi of Valdosta. I also want to thank my good friend Kyle Conger. You know, we converse probably 2-3 times a week, and I'm so glad I do because he keeps me sane in this financial world that we have. So I want to thank White Oak Investment and Kyle Conger. He also sponsors the White Oak Investment comment line as well. If you need some sound financial advice, give Kyle a call at 229-850-8848. We also want to thank Tim Neesmith. He has a company called A Shade of Perfection. Listen, if you want to make your house beautiful, why not start with the thing that people see when they first drive up to your house, and that's your window treatments. He has a company called A Shade of Perfection where he customizes customizes shades and blinds. So if you have a need for his product or service, give him a call, 229-251-3479. And he's all around great guy as well. So I want to thank the Migraine and Spine Clinic of Valdosta. You can reach these guys at 229-333-9838. They are your certified headache medicine specialists. These guys, Josh Batson and Justin Haskin, also sponsor our Friday night scoring updates. So anyway, if they offer a variety of migraine and back pain treatments, if you have a need for their service, give Josh or Justin a call at the Migraine and Spine Clinic of Valdosta. I want to thank Chandler Kudik. He owns a company called AquaWorks Pool Company. The dude just works. It was like 7:30 the other night, and he sends me a text, says, listen, you're my last stop of the day. Can I come? I know it's kind of dark, but can you come? Can I come and just clean your pool before I call it a day? I said, absolutely. So if you want that kind of service, that level of service on top of your pool being sparkling clean, Chandler's your guy at 229-415-0752. That's Chandler Kudik, owner of AquaWorks Pool Company. And we thank these guys, Imperial Auto Sales. This is Tony Green, Trey Hatcher, anything automotive related. You just want to call them and ask them a general question. Or if you need, I guess, the best price in town on a used car, give these guys a call, Imperial Auto Sales. They've got two great locations to help you out, one on Ashley Street and one on Bay Tree Road. And then finally, Jason Castleberry with Case Tree Services. If you still have trees laying in your yard from the storm, if you have the need for tree removal and or stump removal, give Jason a call at Case Tree Services. He specializes in tree cutting and removal. And if you mention this ad, you get free stump grinding with any tree removal. So thank you so much to all the sponsors of the Viking Nation Live. So let's go ahead and run down the rules of engagement for tonight. First of all, thank you for showing up every Thursday night for the Viking Nation Live. John Carroll says, where you at? Yeah, I had a little technical glitch getting on screen tonight. Actually, I just forgot to hit the right button. So here I am, John. I know you're ready to heckle, and I'm prepared for you. Listen, we're going to have a lively, spirited discussion night, and I'm going to need your help because my fellow super fan, Chase Garnto, could not be with us tonight. He'll be back with us next Thursday night, but he couldn't make it tonight. So Chris Will says, I want a t-shirt, LG. If you want a t-shirt, Chris, you need to enter tonight's drawing. Go ahead and type into the comment. Anybody that wants to enter tonight's drawing, go ahead and type in #OneLounge, just like you see in the lower left-hand corner of your screen. #OneLounge, no spaces. I don't care if you capitalize the letters or not. Just go ahead and type in #OneLounge, all one word. And that's all you got to do to enter tonight's drawing. Also, if you would like to call in and opine, for those in Cook County, that means to give your opinion. Now, I'm picking on Greg Maddox because you guys beat the brakes off my Berrien Rebels last week, but I'm still going to pick on you. So if you want to all call in and opine, Greg, or anybody in Cook County, that means to call in and give your opinion. The call-in line is 229-469-1205, and that is open to anybody, any fans, any non-fans. I know you non-fans are lurking out there. I've noticed an increase or a pickup in some of these rival fans out there stalking the Viking Nation Facebook page, posting comments every once in a while like Go Pack Go or Go Cats Go. You know, this is an open forum. So if you want to call and give me a hard time, talk some trash, whatever you want to do, just give us a call. Jerry Safford says blurry picture. I'm not sure why it's a blurry picture. Travis, honestly, I really don't know. Let me go ahead and switch my Wi-Fi connection. I don't know if that helps or not. But here we go. Okay, So that's the best we can do. Can't control the internet connection tonight. Candace Marie says, you keep letting them in. Candace, it's a page. It's not a password protected page or anything like that. So anyway, that's just the way it is. But every once in a while, they may get out of hand with some comments or whatever. They didn't get out of hand this week, but I did have to kind of hide some comments just because I didn't feel like reading Go Pack and Go all week. Okay. Yeah, I apologize for it being kind of blurry tonight. Maybe it's a internet connection. I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but y'all stay with me. Stay with me. Hey, listen, and if you have to, just close your eyes and enjoy the sweet, velvety, Barry White-like voice of the one and only LG. That's all you need anyway, right? I'm just kidding. Hopefully the picture will clear up as we go along because we do have a lot to talk about tonight. Just pretend like you're listening on the radio and we'll just go at that, leave it at that. That and the opposing fans. I'm not sure, Jason, what you're talking about. I missed something there. Jason, John Carroll said, Jason Anderson, the Opines. Jason and John are probably my two favorite hecklers of all time. Hey, listen, I welcome the hecklers calling into the White Oak Investment comment line or calling into the, I don't know what label you call it now. Anyway, the call-in number, 229-469-1205. So give us a call. Hey, tonight's quote of the day is this: behold how good and pleasant it is for brothers and sisters to dwell together in unity. I'm not addressing any particular thing. I'm just saying that how good and pleasant it is for brothers and sisters to dwell together in unity. I hope some people in our community take that to heart. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying without saying. You know what I'm saying? Jason Anderson says, I can smell the opposing fans. You got a great sniffer, Jason. But you know what? We're playing those hogs this week. So it's not hard to smell a hog. You know what I'm saying? All right. So a couple of things that I want to go ahead and let you guys know of. The Lowndes volleyball team has advanced in the playoffs. So good luck to the volleyball team. And the softball team, Lowndes softball, has advanced to the final 8, I think, over in Columbus. So anyway, congratulations to a fine season to all these teams. The volleyball team, the softball team, they are continuing the Viking tradition in the playoffs. So good luck to all those guys. And one Lowndes, go get it done, ladies. All right, let's go ahead and talk about some other things before we get into the football talk tonight. One is a reclassification update. There's really no update. We are expecting something soon to happen because it's approaching the end of October, a little over a week left in October, week and a half maybe in October. So anytime now, the FTE numbers are going to be reported to the GHSA. And, that's full-time equivalent. That's basically your student population. And so once that happens, then it would start happening pretty quickly on the reclassification, teams being assigned to region, the appeals process. So all that should happen fairly quickly now that we're approaching the end of October. Okay. So I don't know what your predictions are, what your expectations are when it comes to reclassification. I'm expecting at least a couple of teams being added to our region. I'm expecting Tift County. I think that's a slam dunk. I'm expecting Houston County as well. And take a look at how well Houston County is playing this year. They've got a huge game on Saturday against Thomas County Central. Both of those teams are in Region 1-6A. TCC finds itself ranked number 1 in the state in Class 6A. Who would have thought of that? If Cole Moore is listening, man, kudos to the Yellow Jackets over there because he jumped on that bandwagon right at the right time. No, I'm kidding. I'm not calling Cole a TCC bandwagon fan. He did go over there, married into the family, and he became a huge TCC fan right away. And just so happens Justin Rogers was hired shortly after that, and the rest is history. So TCC making a name for itself. Now, I don't think Thomas County is going to enter our region next year. I don't. I think they're going to probably stay in 5A. That's my prediction. So we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see. But I am expecting Tift County to join the new Region 16A. That'll be our region next year. And or Houston County, possibly others. So next year's 16A should be Camden County, Lowndes, Colquitt, Valdosta, and who am I missing? Richmond Hill is probably going to stay in our county or our region. Tift County, and or possibly Houston County, possibly others as well. So I'm expecting to pick up 2 teams for region play next year. So we have 4 region games this year. Next year, we're probably going to add a couple more. So that would give us a total of 6 region games next year. That means you only get 4 non-region games. Now, what do I expect for the non-region games? Honestly, I don't expect us to have schedule world beaters just because we're going to have a lot more region competition next year. We got to protect for injuries, that kind of stuff. I expect us probably to have, honestly, I don't have any insider information. It's a little too early to really have an idea of who your non-region games are going to be next year. But I'm expecting to have at least one high quality team, and the other ones are probably honestly going to be mediocre. Just hate to break the bad news to you. We're not going to have 4 stellar teams come in here and then have to play a 6 game region schedule, right? So I knew Greg Maddox was coming. He says, "Good evening, LG. How about them Hornets?" I knew he was on his way, and there he is on schedule, but that's okay. Trainer says, I was talking about TCC a while ago, and Trainer says, and that's Georgia coach Trainer for you that are kind of new to the show. He says TCC has a strength of schedule lower than private schools. Yeah, I agree with you. The Jackets do have a strength of schedule issue going. So your point is now that they're entering the heart or the meat of their region schedule, because they've got Houston County tomorrow night. And then I think they play Lee County next, I think. And so that's back elite teams in that region. So are they going to be prepared? We'll just have to wait and see. Sometimes, Trainer, you know this, sometimes teams are so good, you don't have to worry about the soft non-region schedule. But sometimes a team that's on the fence, they need the brutality, if you will, of that non-region schedule to prepare them for the region. Which Jacket team are you going to get this year? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. Now, they are playing Saturday night because they share a stadium with Veterans High School. So that's why they're playing on Saturday instead of Friday. So let's go to the White Oak Investment comment line. Check out some of you guys, what your comments are tonight before we continue with the show. John Carroll says the band should play the Georgia fight song for Nikar. John, Nikar is not a Georgia dog yet. So our band's not going to play any song to honor a Colquitt County Packer. It's just not going to happen. And besides, Bowman's an Auburn Tiger or an Auburn Warrior, whatever they are. So I don't think that's going to happen. Let's see. Sean Pride says, I would love for Coffee to come back. Pride, that ain't going to happen. That ain't going to happen. Coffee County is probably actually going to move down to Class 4A if I'm predicting right, if I'm prognosticating correctly. Now, I was just talking to another fan this week about Coffee County, and they were asking me, how does Coffee County do? Well, here's how Coffee County, and I'm expecting this to happen more as we go on into the future. That is, Coffee County several years ago built what's called a career academy, right? So it's part of the Coffee County school system, but it's a career academy. So these are the kids that really don't have any interest of going to college, that they basically want to go to trade school like a Wiregrass Tech or the like. And so they don't really have any pursuits to go to college, right? So I think I'm getting this right. And at the same time, because they're separated from the main campus, they don't participate in extracurricular activities like the football team or the chess team or something like that. As a result, the GHSA allows them to withhold that student population from the main Coffee High School population. And that's how they avoid being in 6A this year. And so that's why they're not going to come back to our region next year, because they have this separate career academy. I know that other schools are looking at this. I've been told that Ware County is looking at this. Don't know that for a fact, but that's what I've been told. It would not surprise me. Other schools in Middle and South Georgia start to adopt this model as well, because one of the big issues this year in the GHSA with reclassification, and that's why we primarily are contracting or eliminating one of the classes, is to make bigger regions so it will alleviate some of the travel cost associated with having few teams in the region. So you take that one step further for the schools that are really serious about that, and they may face an overcrowding issue at the school. Instead of creating a second or a third high school, I would not be surprised to see more schools adopt the career academy model, where you lower the general population at your main high school, and at the same time you withhold that student population from your athletic or extracurricular numbers as well. And that allows you to slide down to a lower classification, puts you closer proximity to other schools in this area, and eliminates travel costs. So, I'm expecting other schools to do that in the future. So in that regard, Coffee County, it has really been an innovator when it comes to that kind of stuff. Kenneth Hurst says, Kenneth Hurst, by the way, is a TCC fan. Kenneth, thank you so much for being a loyal viewer of the show. He says TCC plays Saturday at 2:00. Man, a Saturday at 2:00. It's a good thing that it's fall weather now, right? Shouldn't be blazing hot like Lowndes had to play earlier this year. We played the afternoon games. Gary West says, NICAR committed to Miami. Oh, is that right? Oh, okay. But I don't think we're going to play the Miami fight song either. John Carroll says he committed to Miami, not Georgia. Yeah. Wilbur says, need to get TCC on a home and home next year. NICAR going to Miami. Now, Wilbur, that's an interesting point. I have been told that Justin Rogers wants to play Lowndes in a home and home starting next year. So if that's the case, now's the time to do that, right? And I've already told the administration that because, Cole is a big TCC guy, and he and I talk behind the scenes, that kind of stuff quite often, probably 2-3 times a week. And he made it known to me that Rogers would love to play Lowndes, because he's setting up his non-region schedule now. And I said, listen, that sounds like a great idea. So I passed along the idea to the Lowndes administration. I don't know if anything will come up to it, so we'll just have to see. Mike Mullins, he is joining the show tonight in the viewership. Mike is a longtime dear friend of mine. He just recently moved back to Lowndes County from Mississippi. And so he's checking out the show tonight. Welcome back, Mike. Glad to have you in the audience tonight. All right, so what else you guys talking about? You guys talking about Lowndes should have hired Coach Slack for head coach. Greg Maddox says he's doing a great job in Adel. Greg, he is doing a great job in Adel. Last year was his first year, and he was 8-4 last year. And I went back and looked, and the last time Cook County won 8 games. Greg, help me out here. The last time Cook County won 8 games in a season was, I believe, either 2017 or 2014. It hasn't happened a lot in the last decade, 2 decades, something like that. So for Slack to go in there and win 8 games just like that, and this year he's off to a 5-2 start, challenging, and really has those Hornets positioned well to win their region. So he's got a couple of tough games left as far as region games goes, but Greg, you're right. He's off to a great start. Wouldn't mind seeing him over in Nashville, Berry County. But I agree. Byron Slack, outstanding coach, and he's doing a great job up there in Adel. Okay, so that is the reclassification talk. There is, I want to show you guys something. There is talk about this. Now, some people gave me a hard time when I started talking about NIL a couple of weeks when it became official. But this is how serious that the GHSA is taking NIL. They are actually partnering with a company called Ecker Sports. I don't know who Ecker Sports is. Really didn't have time to look them up, but they are conducting, in conjunction with the Georgia Athletic Coaches Association, they are conducting an NIL webinar. Yeah, an NIL webinar for all these coaches around the state to find out all the details of it, what they're expecting, how to manage it. Look at the agenda. How does NIL affect student athletes and their education? Facts about NIL in Georgia. And check this out. One of the topics is how to manage the chaos in your athletic department that the NIL will create. Now, some people say that they don't expect it to have that big of an effect in Georgia. I don't think it's going to have that huge an effect immediately, mainly because people really don't know how to get creative with it yet. But trust me, when the outside forces find a way to become creative with NIL, this is going to be a real game changer. I'm just telling you, it's going to be a huge game changer. You ask me, you might be pushing back. It's like, Larry, how in the world is NIL at the high school? Is it really going to convince anyone to buy a particular product or service, to have a high school kid promote something at the local level? The answer is no, but that's not what the purpose of NIL is. The purpose of NIL is these kids are wanting to get paid. They see the kids actually young adults at the college level making a lot of money on NIL deals. And what happens in college usually trickles down. So the GHSA had to get in front of this, adopt rules, adopt a set of guidelines, if you will, try to put guardrails on this thing. But people are going to get creative. It would not surprise me that colleges will use NIL at the high school level to start paying these kids at the high school level to get them basically a hard, soft pre-commit to a school. So everybody's heard of the verbal commit that high school kids give to colleges, right? That doesn't mean anything. It's not nothing's written down. It's not worth anything. Kids change their mind all the time when it comes to verbal commits. But what if you had hold on one second, caller. What if you had a college that sets up through their collective, right? Comes into and talks to a high school kid and says, listen, while you're at this XYZ high school, we'll go ahead and sign you to an NIL deal. But just between us, we want you to go ahead and make a hard pre-commitment, right? To come to the University of Georgia or to come to Alabama or to Miami. You see how people can get creative now. What about a booster club that operates through a college NIL collective? There's no rules against this. So if there's no rule, a specific rule, then people will get creative. So keep an eye on this. It's going to affect and change high school ball within the next 2 to 3 years. You just watch. Mark my words. Let's go to the phone line. Hey, caller, welcome to the Viking Nation Live. What's on your mind?
What's up, Larry? It's Sam.
Sam. All right. So I appreciate you calling into the program. Now, if you have called in tonight to trash talk because your Valdosta Wildcats beat the mighty Lowndes Vikings, man, you called the wrong program. How you doing? Say, hey, first of all, we didn't get a chance to talk last week, but congratulations to you Wildcats. It was a very spirited game, very close game. And so appreciate you calling in tonight. I've asked you to be nice. Right. So Sam, I really do. I'm glad that you called in. What do you think, just as a recap over that, what do you think was the key to that game? We all expected going into that game that Valdosta probably had the upper hand, but it did surprise a lot of people how close Lowndes made it, especially in the first half, ran out of gas in the second half. You and I talked yesterday, and you asked me, so what do you think happened to Lowndes? And I told you point blank, I said, listen, Lowndes played really, really well and ran out of gas in the second half. You disagreed with me. Why did you do that?
Well, the reason why I had to disagree with you was because I think Valdosta I think Valdosta shot themselves in the foot a couple times with, with turnovers and all that crazy stuff. I think Lions only really had one drive where they went downfield and just scored on Valdosta. Outside of that, I think that drive they only got 3 points. So they really never had a drive where they just drove 80, 90 yards and scored a touchdown. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Valdosta just had a lot of miscues, and they cleaned it up in the second half. And like I stated to you before that game, I knew that Valdosta offensive line would be the difference in that game, and they showed that in the second half.
Absolutely. Listen, one of the reasons why I wanted you to call in, Candace Marie has challenged me. She says, we're 2 weeks past this. Can we move on? Well, Candace, the reason why I'm glad Sam called in is because Sam has seen the Colquitt County Packers play 3 times this year, and he's seen his Wildcats play Lowndes. So I wanted to call in as an objective third party to kind of break down this game. Sam, what are you expecting from Lowndes versus Colquitt? Who do you think has the upper hand? What are your keys to this game?
I think with the type of defense that Lowndes is running, 3-3-5, it kind of plays in their hands with the amount of DBs that they got on the field because Mochi want to throw the ball.
Okay.
That's where their strength is throwing the ball, not running. I mean, they got decent running backs, but their strength is running the ball. So I think that they want to pass, and I think that Lowndes can have a little success with that because in the 3-3-5 you have more DBs on the field. Now, granted, I think at the end of the day, it's going to come down to can Lowndes score points on offense.
Okay, so let me slow you down for a second. So let me pick up on a couple of things you said. So you think, or you're saying that is Colquitt a pass first team?
Yeah, I think Colquitt wants. Their strength is throwing the ball.
Yeah,
that's what they want to run. They want to be balanced, but if you look at their strength of their team is passing. They got Nakar, great receiver. They got number 1 tight end in the class. They got another kid, number 3. Arguably, they say he's probably the best running back out of that whole group. So, their strength is they want to get the ball in their playmakers' hands. And, not being biased, but I think with the type of defense that Lowndes run, I think that would play in their favor. So, I want Lowndes to win. I want them to win.
Wait.
But
what did you just say? You might have broken new ground here.
I want Lowndes to beat Mochi.
Okay.
But would it happen? That's just something we'll have to find out Friday night.
I got you, man. I got you. Yeah, they do have some outstanding athletes. I was listening to Adam Carter this week on another show with Marty Rogers, the Viking boys, and he was talking about, as far as athletes, they are just loaded across the board, and we're going to have to account for that. Like you said, Nikar, outstanding wide receiver, Landon Thomas, outstanding tight end.
Mm-hmm.
They got a pretty fast running back, very shifty going through holes, and they got a pretty a good quarterback in Nico Fan that can get the ball to his playmakers. And that's your point, right?
Most definitely. Yeah, most definitely. But like I say, man, I don't think Mochi defense is, good. I would say they're decent. I don't think they're good. Now, Mochi is coming to Lowndes, so hopefully that plays a factor in how that game goes.
Well, Sam, you bring up a good point because I went back and checked. In the last 6 meetings, the home team has won this game.
Okay, see, so I mean, hey, it plays in Lowndes' favor. Now, do I think Lowndes has the quality of kids like Mochi? No, I don't think so. But what I do think is that Lowndes has a lot to play for.
Yeah.
Really, they don't have nothing to lose, So with that being said, I think that it'll play in their favor, with what happened on Friday night. But I'm pulling for Lowndes, though.
I got you. I got you. Now on offense, when you saw the Lowndes offense against your Cats, let's just start off as an opponent that respects the Lowndes offense. I'm hoping. Well, what do you think the strengths are? We'll get into the challenger, but what do you think the strengths are that you saw that the Lowndes offense brings to the table?
I mean, you got Jakar Fleming.
Okay.
That's a big strength.
Sure.
Great running back. I think that I think what Lowndes, my opinion with Lowndes is that you got kids, but I think you got a lot of kids out of position. Prime example.
What do you mean by that?
Prime example.
Okay.
I think Aiden Seifer.
Okay.
I think Aiden Seifer can create a lot of mismatch if you line him in that hybrid tight end area. You see what I'm saying? Instead of
because he's a big kid. You're saying that because he's a tall kid. He's a big kid.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now that's an interesting viewpoint.
I think that.
Now, obviously, you're talking about because our starting tight end Grant Lasky went down with injury out for the season, and you're thinking, I'm just if I'm putting words in your mouth, please correct me. But for you to say that, I'm thinking that you're probably talking about another big body, probably giving Marvis Parrish a big target to go through in the short intermediate passes.
Yeah. Because I mean, if you really look at it, you don't really have the offensive line that you've had in the past.
Yeah.
And a lot of your plays you try to create to go downfield, but you don't have the offensive line. And let's just be honest, Marvis hasn't, he's been through 2 or 3 different head coaches. It's just been up and down for him. So I think if you put somebody like Aiden, line him up in that slot tight end area, that'll give him a bigger target where, Dante Hunt get rid of the ball. Pitch and catch. That's all you got to do. So, but that's coaching. That's what they get paid for. They get paid to try to put their kids in the best position.
Sure.
But my opinion is I think that, you got to use the kids that you got and put them in those good positions.
Sure.
And I don't think that's what's going on right now. My opinion.
Now, you said something earlier where you thought that after watching Colquitt County 3 times, you said that they don't have a great defense; they have a good defense, right? If you were trying to match up, let's say your Cats are going up against Colquitt County, how would you attack the Colquitt County defense?
I think try to get the ball out the quarterback hand, get it out of his hands quick.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the plays they're trying to hit you downfield.
Okay.
Now I do remember, when Mochi played Valdosta at Valdosta, I think it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Right before halftime, Valdosta was leading, and Valdosta did an all-out blitz, and they hit Valdosta with a tunnel screen for a touchdown to number 3. Kid that's still there. So I mean, they're very well coached offensively. Defensively, I think they're okay. They're not what they used to be. So that's why I say you can have a lot of success with them, but their strength is to throw the ball. And I think when it comes with Valdosta, I think Valdosta will have to get pressure. I think we got the kid to get pressure, which is Ed Brantley. I think Ed Brantley could be a headache for that quarterback, but we just got to be able to cover downfield. That's the only thing.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we've got some Lowndes fans that are disagreeing with you, but I do appreciate you calling in and giving your opinion. All right. So if you had to, it's just a couple more questions and then we'll let you go. So earlier you predicted that Colquitt would win the region. I think you said Valdosta is probably going to be 2nd seed, Camden the 3rd seed, Lowndes 4th seed. You still hold to that prediction? Because I think y'all have a big game tomorrow night with Camden, I think.
Yeah, we got Camden County coming. They coming to Valdosta. It's gonna be hard to beat Valdosta at Valdosta.
Yeah.
I think if we can minimize the mistakes, that we'll come out with a victory. Now, I'm on the fence with Richmond Hill and Lowndes, because Richmond Hill was the same team that was beating Camden the whole game, and then Camden came back in the fourth quarter and took the lead.
That's right.
But when Valdosta played Camden, Camden scored late in that game, but Valdosta really dominated that game from the first quarter to the fourth quarter. The only thing is that, I'm kind of on the fence with that 4th seed with Lions and Richmond Hill.
Say that again, that last part.
I'm on the fence with Lions and Richmond Hill for that 4th seed.
On the seed? I mean, on the fence. Are you kidding me? Lions is going to beat Richmond Hill.
I don't know. I mean, I can't say they will. I don't know because, Lions, have y'all played Camden yet?
No, we got it in the last game of the season.
Okay. So that's why I say I don't know. If y'all had played Camden and beat Camden, then I could probably give a better assessment, but I don't know. I do think that Richmond Hill and Lions is going to be fighting for the 4th seed, but I don't know who would win that game. Like I say, Richmond Hill had Camden beat up until the last couple minutes in the fourth quarter. So, that's why I say that game is on the fence with me.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Listen, we've got some Lowndes fans that say, we got some Lowndes fans that say one Brian Spray says, I think deep down Sam is a Viking.
No.
I've got some other Lowndes fans like, is this a Viking show or a Wildcat show? This is called the Viking Nation Live, but we take calls from everybody. So all you Lowndes fans, if you want to call, then call.
Yeah. Like I say, man, we all from the same community. I went to Valdosta, so that love and hate relationship I do have for Lions, but I do really hope that Lions can beat Moultrie Friday night.
I got you.
I love Lions more than I love Moultrie.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I just hope Lions can come out with that victory.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, listen, with that said, my Viking faithful fans are about to jump all over me if I don't end this call. So I'm going to let you go.
All right, go Cat.
Thanks. Thanks, Sam. Bye. Okay. Are you guys happy? I finally let him go. Now, I've let him go. I think Armand Rashad said or asked, what's the call-in number? I'm put the number on the line, 229-469-1205. If you want to call in and give your opinion, now, call in. Elizabeth Zekman, Heath says, grading our team like our coaches do. I think it was Sterling Oz. He says, I think our coaches already have a game plan. Listen, it's Thursday night. I would expect them to have it. We're just fans. We're just mouthing off like fans do. And so anyway, I do appreciate the back and forth, though. I really do. Leslie Zekman Heath. Leslie, I got a question for you. You can message me privately if you want to, but your last name Heath. I'm married into the Heath family in Berrien County, so I wonder if there's some relationships there. So anyway, that's just a private question. Let me go back to the phone line. Hey, caller, welcome to the Viking Nation Live. What's on your mind?
Hey, Larry, what's going on? This is Armand.
Hey, man, listen. Finally, someone called in to represent the Viking Nation. How are you, Armand?
Man, I'm doing good, man. It's been a while since I've been able to catch the show live. I always watch it on the repeat.
I appreciate you calling in tonight, though. Appreciate you catching up with us. Listen, man, you heard Sam. You heard some pretty strong opinions that he had. Did you agree with him? Disagree with him? Where do you stand?
Absolutely not. Listen, let me just say this, right? I bleed crimson and silver, crimson and white. I am a Viking. Through a Playboy if you ever saw one.
Okay.
However, I'm not delusional. I am not delusional.
Oh boy.
And I'm gonna tell you, and this is not really the bash. I think the issues that Lyles has had, especially for the last 2 years, right? It's multifaceted. 3 coaches in 3 years, 3 different philosophies in 3 years.
Okay.
However, I think the last 2 regimes have tried to get the kids to fit their system instead of finding a system that fits the kids.
Ooh, that's a pretty strong opinion, Armand.
I'm telling you, like, for instance, you look at this 3-3-5 that we run, right?
Okay.
I don't know all you got to do is go back to the TCU game that Georgia played, and that shows you how good the 3-3-5 is. Or just look at
I don't think. Well, let me push back. I don't think that game is a good indication of the strength of the 3-3-5 because they were playing after all Georgia.
I
Georgia's blitzing everybody, you know.
but I get that. But you got to have specialized personnel to fit that scheme.
Okay, I can grant you that. Yeah.
Just think about it this way, right? If you're going to run any variation of a 3-4 defense, you got to have a nose tackle that's about 300 pounds. You got to have a defensive end that's 260 and another defensive end that's 260. And your outside linebacker got to be somewhere between 225 and 230.
Armand, I'm going to ask you the obvious question because you're making some pretty strong statements. And I've heard other fans make the statement very similar to yours. Now, I've got to ask you, your credentials. Are you a super fan where you just are very knowledgeable of the game? Have you ever coached? Now, because you're making some claims about the 3-3-5 that I don't know if you're right or wrong.
Okay. So this is me. I played from 94 to 95, from 94 to 98. 1997, senior year, first team to ever beat Red Austin in 12 years.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. I came up in a 4-3 system. I know the 4-3 in and out. I have coached football. I coach football, whether it's mostly Parks and Rec.
Okay.
And yeah, pretty much, I won't even lie to you, all Parks and Rec. As far as talking to people, some of my best friends have played in the league, as well as went on to play at places like Kentucky, some here at Val State, some at University of Georgia.
Sure.
And we talk football. We talk football schematic, like from a coach's standpoint, because I'm always intrigued and asking, why are we doing these things? Right?
Gotcha. Okay, so I'll grant you got some bona fide credentials. You've got a qualified opinion.
Okay, so thank you. But this is what I want to say, right? Like, I think that scheme that we're running defensively is too complex, too complicated. Because from what I'm seeing on the field, it appears that there's always some type of miscommunication.
Okay.
Like, nobody knows who has who. I don't believe that we can line up man-to-man for 90% of the game. I don't think we have the cover corners to do that. Yeah. That's why a lot of times you have to be able to pick your shot, call your shot. And there's going to be times when you're going to gamble and times when you're not. When I tell you, when we played, who was that team that we were up and we lost the lead to? Not Red Austin, but the other team.
You talking about East Coweta?
Yeah, East Coweta. Yeah. Every single time, I promise you, Larry, every single time they threw that deep ball and scored, I called it. I said, they're about to throw deep. Because I could tell just looking at who they're picking on, right? And this is not, and I don't blame the kids. If you're not helping, you got to put these kids in a position to win.
Okay.
And on defense, they're not. I'm not going to tell you the 4-3 is better because I think in this day and age, you can't really run a traditional 4-3. You could probably go 4-3, 4-2-5, or the 4-3 nickel base, based off of that scheme. But at the high school level, you got to have 4 dogs on hand in the dirt getting after the quarterback.
So, I'm gonna say this, and I think I know what you're gonna say, but I got to push back a little bit anyway. Camden County has run the 3-3-5 for years under Jeff Herring, and they've had tremendous success with it.
But these kids, so Camden County hasn't changed what they do for years on top of years on top of years on top. Right? They run that wing. They've been running that wing team, and it goes. All you got to do is look back to us under McPherson. Ran the same defense, pretty much. Ran the same offense. So from middle school to high school, you run the same thing. They just added to it, and that's what Coach Herring has done. I know one of my best friends, Jason Tone, coaches up in South Carolina. Was that assistant head coach under Coach Herring.
That's right.
Whenever we talk, I'm always asking him questions, and he's like, and he explains it to me, and so, and it's not to, and this is not to undermine anybody, right?
Yeah.
My whole thing is that I love these kids. I'm gonna be there rooting for them regardless of what. I'm never gonna backlash, but and I'll never ever judge the kids on this play.
Yeah.
My whole thing is put the kid in the best position. Maybe this is a scheme you want to run, but we don't have the personnel to run that scheme.
Well, it just seems like your argument, you're kind of conflating two things into one. On the one hand, you're talking about Camden County and they've just had kids and they've been running the same system for a long time. On the other hand, you're making an argument that they've also had the right kids in the right positions. But my pushback is going to be, this is the first year that Lowndes is truly trying to run the system. So is it a case of the kids just haven't adapted to the system, or is it the case of we don't have the kids to run that system yet? I don't know what the answer is. So that's my question for you.
I think it lies somewhere in the middle, to be honest with you. And this is not me just hating. I won't even lie to you. I do hate the 3-3-5. And that's me being honest, but it's also me just looking at the product that we have on the field and saying it's not the result. However, this is what I say, and I never call for coaches' jobs or anything like that. I always said, even last year when we talked about the previous coach, I can't think of his name, but I said, give him grace, give him about 3 years. I feel like it takes about 3 years in year 3, a coach should be able to show some improvement.
Sure.
Right. And so the year 1, I kind of like, okay, it just is what it is. Very rare do you have a case like DeBose where DeBose inherited the wealth of talent and he was able to win a lot of games.
Okay.
That's very rare in year 1, right?
Gotcha.
But in our case, I don't think it's a couple of things. I think we have the talent, but that scheme it's what they're doing is not what they're used to doing.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's not what they came up doing. So it's a little complex. So you have to simplify things. And then on offense, I know I'm bouncing around, but I know we don't have a lot of time. On offense, everything seems hard. It's like to get a 4-yard run, it seems like it is so hard, so difficult. And we have playmakers. I don't know what it is, but I just know and I can sit here and criticize kids if I wanted to, but I'm not going to do that. It just seems hard. Nothing seems easy. You should have these plays where, hey, I know I can get 9 times out of 10, I can get 5 yards on this play. But for us, it doesn't seem that way. Everything seems like a struggle. I think Parrish has improved a little bit, still kind of holds on to the ball a little bit. I think Smoke is as dynamic as a playmaker as he can. And everybody talks about, as far as on the receiver, 14, Jalen Carter, he's a dog.
Yeah.
He is a bona fide stud.
He is. I agree. JC.
If I ever seen one, and I've been watching him play since he was about 6 years old, but he is a bona fide stud if I've ever seen one.
Yeah.
So we have the talent. It's just that I don't know if they're not grasping the schemes. If it's too complex. I don't know. And this goes all the way around.
Yeah.
It's like everything just seems to be a struggle. And I don't know exactly what it is. I'm hoping and praying. I said in the comments, from what I've seen, we might not score a touchdown. I'm being completely honest here. But I'm hopeful, and I always root for my Vikings to win. But if I'm being completely honest, from what I've seen on the field, this might not be our year. It's a total rebuilding year. I get it, and it just might be what it is, Larry.
It is.
I don't know.
So this is my read on this team so far. If I had to pick one word, and you tell me if I'm off base or you agree or whatever. If I had to pick one word on this team, it would be inconsistent.
Yes.
Would that be a fair word?
Inconsistent. Yeah, inconsistent, and with inconsistency comes with a lack of discipline.
Yeah.
Right. Penalties, being out of position.
Sure.
It's just inconsistent. We started games. We got them 3rd and 15, and we give up a 25-yard run.
Sure.
Or it's 3rd and 20, and a jump pass, and it goes for a 70-yard touchdown or whatever. It's it's those lapses, those mental lapses. And that's why I say, like, the kids don't seem to know where they're at. You have one kid playing the corner. Next thing you know, he's playing the star. Next thing you know, he's at safety. Next thing I know, I see him lined up at wide receiver. like what are we doing? Like,
well, listen, I understand your argument there. My read on that is they're just trying. You got a first-year coach staff that's new to these kids. The kids are new to the staff. I think they're just trying to find, as the season goes on, they're playing musical chairs to try to their best to find a kid that will match the position that they want, because they just didn't have enough time to put the kids in the right position. And I think they're just trying to build the bicycle as they're riding it to try to get kids in the right position. Am I wrong on that?
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But that kid's a senior. That's
true. That's true.
Next year ain't gonna benefit him. This year needs, keep him in one position so that he knows we at least have a couple that know what they're doing. I'll give you a funny story, Larry.
Yeah.
I was in Germany. I was coaching. I was coaching the middle school team in Germany, right? In the military, these kids come and go. I only had three players that ever played football before, and we're talking 6th and 7th graders, right? I tried everything. So what I started doing was this: line them up in two tight ends, fullback, running back, split one out wide, send them off the line, and I just called out 32, 24, 26. And they're like, Coach, they know the plays. I'm like, well, look, block for them. After I did that, successful.
Yeah.
I ain't saying we scored every time, but we were able to move the ball down the field consistently and score, because I just felt like, let's make it simple. Let's make it simple for them.
Yeah.
Forget all the formations, make it simple. Bully at the end of the day.
All right. So
that proves is that,
so
is that he who controls the line of scrimmage wins, and that's where we're losing.
Listen,
and it's simple.
I think you just said a mouthful right there. I don't care how much offenses have changed or innovated or whatever. I think you said a mouthful. From the beginning of football until the modern day we're in now, that general rule, whoever controls the line of scrimmage is usually going to win the game, right?
Always.
And that's probably one of the inconsistencies that I was referring to a little bit earlier. We've had some, to be fair, we've had some inconsistent play in the O-line position. Sometimes we play great.
Yeah.
And in the same game, sometimes we can start a half great and start to fade in the second half, and vice versa. We'll start slow in the O-line and come on strong in the second half. I just have not seen that consistent 4 quarters of play from that offensive line group yet.
And Larry, I agree with you 100%. I've seen the offensive line first down, knock them in the mouth, push them back. We got a 6-yard gain. The very next play looks like nobody touched anybody.
Yeah.
And Smoke is trying to get 2 or 3 yards wherever he can get, or Marvis is trying to scramble to get whatever he can get. You're right. It's inconsistent. And I don't know. But I put that on the coaches, because you have to be able to coach and develop. As the season goes on, you should get better. Even if the competition gets better, you should get better. You shouldn't be out of position. You shouldn't be whiffing on blocks. If the guy just mans up and beats you, that's all right. You got out athleted, if that's the word. The guy's just bigger, faster, and stronger than you. I can take that. But when you're out of position constantly and you're missing assignment, that's when I look at the coaches and say, hey, coach, that's on you.
Yep. Well, listen, Armand, I'm going to put you on the spot, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Some of our fans that are commenting tonight are making this suggestion, and I agree. Listen, you have really brought some high quality stuff tonight with your call. I'm going to give you an invitation to actually join me on the screen from time to time. Would you be open to that?
I am very open to it.
Okay.
Very open to it.
All right. Let's talk after the show, maybe sometime this weekend, early next week. Let's just get on the phone with you and I, talk about some logistical details, and and I would love to have you participate in our super fan panel.
Hey, no problem. I will be there.
Fantastic.
You just tell me when.
Fantastic, man. All right. So I'm going to put you on the spot for the last time. I promise. Now, this is where the rubber meets the road. With all the analysis that you just did for the game tomorrow night, I heard you heard me say to Sam, the last 6 meetings between Lowndes and Colquitt, the home team usually wins the game in the last 6 times. Does that continue tomorrow night?
My heart says Vikings by 30.
That's your heart said Vikings by 30. What's your head say?
My heart says Vikings by 30. If we were playing the Bears tomorrow, it would still be Vikings by 30. However, my head says
I love it.
My head says Colquitt County 36, Lowndes. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt, 16.
36-16. You thinking like a 20-point spread?
Yeah.
All right.
I think Colquitt offensively, considering our defensive, well, now I could be wrong. I could be wrong. Lowndes come out and have played a game of their life, and that's what they're going to have to do.
Yeah.
But I think Colquitt just kind of jumps up early and probably idles it down like in midway through the third quarter. And yeah, that's what it is. I don't think we have the firepower offensively to compete with them. And the shootout and everything every time you see Colquitt County, that's a well-oiled machine. That offense is a well-oiled machine. They might have their difficulties on defense, but offensively, that's a well-oiled machine. Dakar, Thomas, what's the guy's name? Nico Pham. Those 3, they're gonna be playing big-time football on Saturday, and that's just my open and honest opinion.
I got you. Hey, you think Colquitt's going through kind of like what Lowndes did 04, 05, 07. Do you think Colquitt now is going through a cycle of super athletes like Lowndes had back in its heyday?
Yeah, it's me and Morris Wayne was talking about this, and it's cyclical. It's you get these bursts of influx of talent in cycles, and if you're able to keep them together through high school, then it's a good thing. It is usually yields results.
Sure.
Colquitt County right now, yes, it is. It's their time now. They just have an influx of talent right there, and it's like that. Like for us, I think Lowndes, we've been spoiled because from 96 to 2020, we've had a lot of talent. Like for the last almost 30 years, we've had a lot of talent that went on to play on Sundays. They play big time college football, and we've been spoiled. Now it's moved on from us and went to Colquitt County, but I can't be mad at that. I just think that I feel like we still have that same level of talent here at both Lowndes and Valdosta. It just hasn't been cultivated because of the coaching turmoil that's gone on at both schools.
Gotcha.
So once it settles down, all roads will come back to Wintersville.
Sure, absolutely.
If nobody presses the panic button at either school, all roads are going to come back to Wintersville.
Absolutely,
in order to get to a state
absolutely
championship.
Armand, listen, fantastic call. Appreciate you calling in, giving your opinion, and you and I will talk about getting you on our super fan panel.
Okay, no problem. I'll send you my information.
Thank you, sir.
All right, you have a good one. Be blessed now.
All right, bye-bye.
Goodbye. Bye-bye.
Listen, was that a fantastic call or not? I was so glad to hear a Lowndes guy call in on the White Oak Investment comment line. Oh, actually, I called that a different thing. I can't remember what I call these lines nowadays. I'm glad he called in on the phone line to give a Lowndes opinion. Most of you guys are shy to call in on the phone. You'd rather go ahead and type it out. That's fine. I'm good with that. But every once in a while, it's good to hear a Lowndes voice, right? Okay. So let's go back to, speaking of the comment line, let's go back to the White Oak Investment comment line to see what you guys are talking about in the comments here. Let's see. Sam Horn says, Coach Mack, most decorated coach in Lowndes history. That is a fact. Yeah, he was also here for 18 years, Sam. David Griffith says, play the best players, not just because you're in a certain class. I totally disagree to that point. Not sure if you're addressing another fan, David, but I would tend to agree with you that you obviously want to have your best players on the field. Hey, listen, we've got about 20 minutes left in the show. I want to remind you guys that if you would like to enter tonight's drawing, go ahead and type into the comments, #OneLounge. Let me go ahead and put that back up on the screen. And so you'll know how to do it in your comments that you guys are firing off like crazy tonight. Go ahead and type in #OneLounge, and you're going to be entered to win tonight's drawing. Now, so what is on the prize list for tonight's drawing? Now, we're going to take a little break from the t-shirt giveaway with this. Bubba Price. Now, many of you know Bubba, very good friend of mine. He is donating some tickets for tomorrow night's game. And we are giving away 4 tickets on the home side for this game, Lowndes versus Colquitt. So if you want to come to the Concrete Palace tomorrow night to watch the mighty Lowndes Vikings to overcome all odds and defeat the Colquitt County Packers, go ahead and type into the comments, #OneLounge. And that will enter you for a chance to win 4. You heard me right. 4 Lowndes home side tickets for tomorrow night's game. So now, hopefully you'll win. Good luck to all of you, right? So you've got a pretty good chance because some of you are shy and not many of you have entered for that drawing tonight, which is kind of unusual. So, excuse me, Steve Browning, Nathan Lincoln have gone ahead and entered. Earl Carter has entered. There you go. Choice Michelle has entered. There you go. Emmy Gary, Wilbur Pelfrey's entered. Michael Broadwater says, don't forget, I have 3 tickets that you can give away tonight as well. Hey, there you go. We're going to have 2 drawings now. Thank you, Michael Broadwater, for offering up those tickets. And I think Michael's tickets are in section A, I believe. I mean, that's like prime time seating. So we're going to have 2 drawings tonight. The first one is for 4 tickets from Bubba Price. The second one is for 3 tickets from Michael Broadwater. So it looks like I've got some running around to do tomorrow to pick up tickets and deliver tickets. So, but I don't mind because I want those stands filled. Now, speaking of, Michael Broadwater confirms that section A. That's prime time real estate at Martin Stadium. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the things tomorrow night. Specifically, get there early because the first 1,000 fans gets one of those free, what they call rally towels, Viking Nation rally towels. I think it says compete on there, and it's got the Lowndes football's website, lounsfootball.com. And if you haven't visited that website yet, fantastic website. They have revamped that thing, and so kudos to the dude that put that together, and that's Santiago Iturralde. I think that's how you say his last name. But Santiago, fantastic job with lounsfootball.com. So make sure you show up to the stadium early tomorrow night, at least be the first 1,000 fans into the gate, so you can go ahead and get one of those free rally towels. And if you don't make it, bring your own rally towel. All you need is a white towel. So I understand that they're going to play some special music, get the crowd fired up. That's what you're. Chris Will says, I heard you were donating 1,000 more, LG. Chris, that was wrong. You heard wrong. I know you're heckling me. I know you're joining the heckling gallery with John Carroll and Jason Anderson. They're very good at it. Candace Marie every once in a while likes to pick at me. But you guys are great. I love it. So, all right. So that's what's happening tomorrow night. I also want to remind you guys, if you're a band person, if you're a band guy or gal, you love to go watch the marching bands, have we got a treat for you? The annual Battle on the Border Lowndes band competition is this Saturday, basically an all-day event. So you can watch it. And I think they've got more bands than they've ever had entering this thing. So if you love marching band, go and see this one. And regardless of what other people say in this town, if you actually want to go watch real marching bands, then go to the competition tomorrow and you will see actual real marching bands. Okay. Nathan Lincoln says 16 bands scheduled. And then on top of that, you're going to have the Lowndes Bridgman play to close out the schedule for tonight. Now, Nathan, I think in years past, we've had other, maybe a college band pass through and do an exhibition. Are we having that tomorrow? I mean, this weekend as well? Or is it just 16 band competition and then the Bridgman do the exhibition at the end? So that's usually how it does. And I think they have a special surprise for you guys at the very end of the competition. Sandstorm is the music, Wilbur Pelfrey says. Okay, so it's going to be like a South Carolina Gamecock theme where they play Sandstorm and you got the white rally towels that you're throwing, that kind of stuff. Linda Mobley says, no, just a Bridgman. Okay, thumbs up. Thank you so much for that information. So that's going to be starting tomorrow, Saturday morning, and it's going to be running all day. So you got to remember, this is the biggest fundraiser that the Georgia Bridgman has all year long. And so obviously, I had 2 kids that were Bridgman for a total of 8 years, 4 years back to back. So we know all about fundraising. And so these parents and these kids work their tails off all year round to fundraise. This is the biggest fundraiser that the band has. So if you like bands, if you have an interest in the bands, if you just want to come watch the Bridgman at the end of the night, go pay you a few dollars, get in, enjoy the concessions, enjoy the band competition. And so anyway, let's just go ahead and support these kids. That's Shannon Tabor, $10 at the gate. Absolutely. And $10 gets you in all day. You can come and go. They give you a wristband and that gets you in and out. You can come and go as you please. So hopefully to have you guys there and a lot of kids that were in the Bridgman will come back to watch this competition. I think both of my kids are making their plans with their mom, are making their plans to attend the band competition on Saturday just because they love it. And a lot of you do as well. All right. So Chris Will says Vikings win tomorrow night. Chris, you and I are on the same wavelength. I love the way you think. All right. So let's go ahead and we got a few minutes left in the show. Going to remind you guys, if you want to go ahead and enter in for your chance to win. Let's see. Make sure I do that. Oops. Uh-oh. I hope I didn't mess that up. Oh, come on. I hope I didn't mess that up. Oh boy. We're going to see. We're going to see. Golly. Guys, you got to trust me. I think I just messed up. So if you went ahead and entered in the drawing, do it again because I think I just reset the software by accident. So it's not going to take you any long at all. Just type in #1Lowndes one more time, just to be safe, just to be safe. So I appreciate you guys doing that. So I'm sorry for totally messing that up. So go ahead and if you don't mind typing in #1Lowndes once again to go ahead and make sure you're entered to win that. So I apologize for messing all that up. All right, so let's talk about a couple of other things before we call it a night. And that's this. I do have to go over the region standings because that's what we've been doing all year. Now, Valdosta is 2-0 in the region. Colquitt is 1-0 in the region. Camden is 1-1. Lowndes is 0-1. Richmond Hill is 0-2. So tomorrow night, Valdosta will host Camden County. Colquitt is coming to Lowndes. And Richmond Hill does not play. So we'll see at the end of tomorrow night how the regions look. But I'm hoping, beyond hope, that at the end of tomorrow night, Lowndes is going to find itself 1-1 in the region and back in the region hunt. Man, if we can take down Colquitt County tomorrow night, all bets are off and we're still in this thing. But it starts tomorrow night, right? It starts tomorrow night. So I'm counting on my Vikings to do that. Now, how is Region 4 doing? Remember, Region 4 is the region that Region 1 stacks up with in the first round of the playoffs. Right now, Newton is at 2-0, Archer is at 2-0, Grayson's at 1-1, Parkview 1-1, South Gwinnett 0-2, Brookwood is 0-2. Newton finds themselves in the driver's seat, and they've got a huge game tomorrow night when they host the Parkview Panthers. So you got Archer that's 2-0. They're going to be at South Gwinnett. So Archer's going to win that game to go 3-0. Grayson is at Brookwood. Brookwood's having a tough year. They're 3-4 overall, 0-2 in the region. So it looks like Grayson's probably going to travel to Brookwood and probably win that game. So they're going to go to 2-1 after tomorrow night. Parkview is probably, in my opinion, they're probably going to lose to Newton. So Newton is probably going to go to 3-0. Parkview probably will fall to 1-2. 1-2. Archer will be 3-0. Grayson is 2-1. And so keep an eye on Region 4, because if we end up as a 4th seed, we're just playing what if. If we end up as 4th seed, we may be traveling to Newton. If we end up as a 2nd seed, we may be, if we end up as a 2nd seed, we may be hosting someone like Grayson. If Grayson, how ironic would that be? If Lowndes ends up as a 2nd seed and Grayson holds to form and finishes as the 3rd seed in Region 4, we would end up hosting the Grayson Rams in the first round of the playoffs. How ironic would that be? And I think we'll play a little bit better this time. Robert Lins asked who beat Grayson. The Newton Rams beat Grayson a couple of weeks ago, I believe. So yeah, Robert, Newton is pretty good this year. Appreciate all you guys that have tuned in, that have overcome my snafu and have re-entered for your chance to win. Remember, 2 drawings tonight. First drawing is going to get 4 home side tickets from Bubba Price, who's donating those. And the second drawing is going to get 3 home side tickets for Michael Broadwater. And you don't have to enter more than once to do that. Okay, so we're going to do the drawing. Then it's going to name a winner, and then we're going to have another drawing right after that, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and go in the rankings before we start to wind down the show. So the rankings are in Class 7A, Mill Creek at number 1, Walton at 2, Colquitt at 3, Buford at 4, Newton at 5, Carrollton 6, Westlake 7, Grayson 8, Norcross 9, North Cobb 10, Peachtree Ridge rounds out Class 7A at number 11. So here are the national rankings. Okay. So Buford is ranked number 11 in the Cal Preps poll. Colquitt County is ranked number 25 in the Cal Preps poll. In the USA Today poll, Buford is number 6. Colquitt County is 16. In the Max Preps poll, Buford is number 5. And Colquitt is number 13 in the nation. So that's the respect that these Georgia teams are getting. Man, everybody's volunteering these tickets tonight. Santiago Iturralde says, I have 3 extra tickets available. Also, LG, if you want to do 3 drawings. Listen, what the heck? Let's do 3 drawings. It's my show. We can do anything we want, right? I got to start writing down these things for these things that I'm committing to. Okay, so we got Bubba with 4. We got Michael with 3. We got Santiago with 3. All right, so when I call for these tickets, you guys better not ghost me. Because I don't want to be on the hook for $10 a ticket. All right, so we're gonna have 3 drawings. John Carroll says, "Hey, we're gonna do the Oprah Winfrey. Everybody gets a ticket. You get a ticket. You get a ticket." Candace Marie says, "Wait, too many ticket giveaways." No, listen. These are, for whatever reason, these tickets are not going to be used for whatever reason. So I'd rather give these tickets away to get people to the games, right? Candace says, y'all should already have them. Well, sometimes people wait to get to the gate to get them for whatever reason, Chris Wills says, Bubba said, I won the t-shirt or I want the t-shirt, one or the other. I got to get Bubba a t-shirt. I don't think I've ever given it as much as he helps me out on the sidelines. Cause he did. I could not attend the game last week. This is probably, it doesn't happen very often that I miss a game, let alone a home game. But people were calling me after the game, asking me if I was protesting. Like, no, they were asking me if I was trying to make a statement because I wasn't at the game Friday. No, that wasn't the case at all. It happened to be my wife's birthday. Not what am I talking about? My wife's birthday was on the 13th. It happened to be our anniversary on the 16th. My bride, Ellen Godwin, is one of the sweetest people you will ever meet. And she's very lovely as well. We're high school sweethearts. We got married 30 years ago. Can you believe we celebrated as young as I look, as youthful as my appearance is, with this AI-aided technology on the screen, that we have been married for 30 years. And Friday night was our wedding anniversary. And she said, let's just go out to dinner. And I said, okay. So anyway, it's as simple as that. Candace Marie says, Bubba Price, that's my dad. Ask him. I think I will. Yeah, Bubba is one of my best friends in the world. And we talk probably 2-3 times a day. That's no lie. We probably talk 2 to 3 times a day. So that's how close he and I are. So I appreciate Bubba reaching out and sending me a text saying that he's willing to donate those. Let's see. There's more people texting to give away. No, I'm cutting it off. 3 drawings is enough. 3 drawings is enough. All right. So anyway, we've got a couple of minutes left in the show and a couple more things to cover. So, I never asked your opinion. What do you think are the keys to the game tomorrow night? What do you think it is? Now, last week against Dunbar, since I wasn't there, I have to rely on statistics. So I went back and looked up the stats. And we did a lot better job at throwing the ball. Marvis Parrish was 8 of 16. That's 50% completion ratio for 141 yards. And we had a total 111 yards rushing. Eileen Brown got a lot of playing time last Friday night in the first half. So all total, we had 111 rushing yards for about 260 yards of offense, roughly. So that's pretty good. 250, 260 yards offense. That's sufficient to beat someone like Dunbar. We're going to need 350 to 4. I'm just being honest. We're going to need 350 to 400 yards of offense tomorrow night. I'm just telling you, that's just the way it is. I don't care if we do it rushing. I don't care if we do it throwing, short passes, long pass, whatever the case might be. We're going to need 350 to 400 yards in that range with no turnovers. We're going to need our team to play the best they've had on. We've seen that they can do it. Now, let's be honest. A lot of you did not expect Lowndes to play as well as they did against Valdosta, but they came out jacked up, very energetic. We had a pretty good game plan and pretty good execution for at least 3 quarters of football. And I heard Coleman Lewis talk about that game, and he basically said we just ran out of gas on defense. And so if we could put together 4 straight quarters of high-quality football, eliminate turnovers and costly mistakes, I think we've got more than a good fighting chance tomorrow night. But it's going to take a monument. Let's be honest. It's going to take a monumental effort. Colquitt County is not ranked nationally that high for grins and giggles, right? Because they've got a well-balanced team. I disagree with Sam partially. I think Colquitt's got a very balanced team. Now he says they're pass first, and they very well may be. They might be a team that passes first to set up the run, soften up the defense, to open up running lanes, that kind of stuff. But I think they're pretty well-balanced team. They are one of the best at playing keep away. I'm not using that term as a pejorative, any type of derogatory term. right? I think they just keep you guessing with their play calling. So they are very good at playing keep away because they spot holes in defenses and are very good at exploiting those holes. So I think our defense is going to have an outstanding night tomorrow night. Our offense is going to, well, like I said, they're going to have to put up at least 350 yards of offense tomorrow night. Candace says defense has to stay on their assignments. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm predicting that we're not going to stay in the 3-3 stack defense all night tomorrow. I think we're going to shift in and out of that defense. I think you're going to see us walk a linebacker up to go to a 4-man front. I think at times we're probably going to walk 2 linebackers to go up the 5-man front. I think you're going to see a mixture of that tomorrow night. That's just I think that's a hunch on my part, but I think that's a pretty good hunch, right? Because I think I think deep down the coaching staff is probably coming around to what the fans have been saying for pretty much all year is we just don't have the big guys up front to dominate a line of scrimmage that allows you to get away with running a 3-man front. So I think we're going to do a pretty good job tomorrow night of mixing things up, if you will. David Grith says, put pressure on the quarterback. Yeah, blitz linebacker, secondary, stay with their man. Now, David, I love blitzing, but I'm going to go one step farther and say you got to be very unpredictable. You can't telegraph where you're going to come from, right? Some of the best teams disguise their blitz packages and they send them from different positions, different angles, unexpectedly. Sometimes they'll show the blitz and back off into cover. We have to be very, very good and on top of our game defensively tomorrow night, I think. Need a spy on the QB? Yeah. Blitz 1 linebacker? Okay. Ferris Carter says they have an athletic quarterback, got to stay disciplined. Got nothing wrong with that. All right, so this is the last video I'm going to play tonight before we have our drawing. That's just to get everybody fired up. Check this out. Everybody. Go Vikings, go. I love that. Love it. John Carroll says, I'm sitting here practicing with my towel, my rally towel. I love it, John. I know you're being funny, but I still love that concept, that picture that you painted in my mind's eye. All right, so let's go ahead and do our giveaway. This is the first set of tickets from Bubba Price. We're drawing for 4 tickets here. So good luck to everybody. Who we got? Who we got? Who we got? Oh, Claudia. Claudia mine. So congratulations, Claudia. Let's just go. Let me go ahead and get this off the screen. All right, so let's just go ahead and do the second drawing. This is for 3 tickets from Michael Broadwater. And that is going to be Tavares Carter. So congratulations, Tavares. And the final drawing is going to be boom, Tony Green. Tony Green rounds out our ticket giveaway tonight. Listen, This is why you join us every week for the Viking Nation. You never know what kind of premium stuff we're going to give away. So congratulations to all of you guys for winning tonight's drawing. Chris Will says, great show, LG, just playing with you. But I know, Chris, we're just all having a good time. We're all goofing off tonight. Appreciate you guys catching the show tonight. And thank you so much for joining us every week here on the Viking Nation. And so remember, I'm going to leave you with this. My quote of the day: behold how good and pleasant it is for brothers and sisters to dwell together in unity. So with that said, may God bless you guys, and go Vikings.